plenty money everywhere. Cause you they lead me every day. I say I like it, oh. I like the way you they lead me, oh. China Dubo, Dubo Dubo, China, you are taking me higher. Jesus, you never leave me nor forsake me. China Dubo Dubo Dubo, China Dubo Dubo Dubo, Jesus, you are taking me higher. Jesus, Jesus, my life is for your glory, your glory. Except you build a house, you build a beauty bay. Me, I go follow you to go. Anywhere you lead me, I don't go. Jesus, my life is for your
Good afternoon, everyone.
glory.
Welcome to OT Radio, the breath of the airways.
Dubo, 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 dubo. Me, I go there, follow you, follow you, follow you.
Today we are bringing to you another segment of the health show on OT Radio, Health Arise Show.
You make the little things I do be like saying I'm easy.
So I want you to encourage all of you to take time off,
Just remember,
even though you are in the election period,
like it.
but our health matters.
I like the way you live.
Health is a fundamental thing that each and every individual must enjoy. So I want to encourage each and every individual to make time for today's segment of Health Arise Show on O2 Radio. And today we have a very nice package for you. We have in our midst prominent people here who are coming to talk to us on a very critical health issue. So I will endeavor all of us to make time and listen. So without wasting much time, I'll go straight to introduce
Cause you are the way through
our guest here.
life. Jesus, you never leave me, no.
So as I said, they are coming to speak to us concerning
Except
a very critical health issue.
the beauty that's built in vain. Me, I will follow you.
And these people are from
Lead me, I don't go.
well-trained institution,
Jesus,
one of the finest in the country,
life is
Center for Plant Medicine Research.
glory.
So they are herbal medicine, or let me say medical herbalists in 10 at Center for Plant Medicine Research at Eastern Region.
You never leave me, no first day.
They also formed the medical team of Rafamol.com,
Chinedubo,
an online herbal marketplace.
dubo.
They are the medical team over there. So they are here to talk to us on peptic ulcer disease.
My life is for your glory, your glory.
So I want you to make time and follow the program carefully. If you have any questions, you can forward your questions on Facebook Live.
I like it, oh.
Let us know all your questions and we'll be able to ask them for you.
They lead me.
Anything you want to know about peptic ulcer disease, today all your questions shall be answered.
Contracts everywhere, plenty money everywhere. Got you there.
So I will encourage you to have a seat at this time
Say I like it, oh.
and let's learn something.
Lead me, oh.
So we have in our midst
Jesus,
two gentlemen over here on O2 Radio, the Health Arise Show.
you are taking me higher. Jesus,
So on my right
you never leave me.
is Mr. Benjamin Eni. from Center for Plant Medicine Research, Eastern Region, a medical herbalist intern. And on my left also we have Mr. Samuel Odum. He's also a medical herbalist intern from Center for Plant Medicine Research. And they are all here to talk to us about peptic ulcer disease. And this is one of the most painful diseases that someone can ever get. So if you want to know all the things concerning this health condition, stick to O2 Radio and let's delve into it. So ladies and gentlemen, as I said, peptic ulcer is one of the most painful diseases that you can get. So sometimes our lifestyle and the things we do predisposes us to getting this health condition. The kind of food we eat, the way and manner that we do our things, all predispose us to this health condition. So today I want to hear from the professionals what this actually is. So you are welcome, my brothers.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
So it's a great pleasure to have you on our show, on O2 Radio, the Health Arise show. So today we want to start quickly from what peptic ulcer disease is. So what is peptic ulcer disease?
Thank you very much. Peptic ulcer disease is a medical condition that is characterized by a break in the superficial epithelial lining that penetrates deep to the submucosa of the duodenum or the stomach. So to break it down, the definition I gave, the stomach wall has linings moving from the inner to the innermost. So on the surface layer of the stomach, we have the superficial mucosa. Then going deeper, there's another layer there which we call the submucosa before you get to the muscularis mucosa or the serosa, and then you get to the muscularis externa. So disease condition can cause, a perforation. Let me use this word, a source in the linings of this mucosa, and they give rise to the ulcer. So the definition is what I've given for the ulcer, which is a break in the superficial lining of the mucosa that can penetrate deeper into the muscularis mucosae of the gastric or the duodenum.
Oh, okay, that is very interesting. So a break in the this protective layer of our stomach.
That's right.
And let's say the duodenum leads to what you call the ulcer.
Yeah.
Okay. So Mr. Ben, please kindly enlighten us. he mentioned about the duodenum and the stomach. So what are these?
Okay, so when you look at every living creature, okay, let's say let's consider human beings. Good. So human beings, we are from our very primary sciences, we understand that we are a cell, then groups of cells makes a tissue, then we come up to the organs, then the organ system, then we have a whole living organism. Yeah, so the stomach and the duodenum he mentioned, they are organs, okay, and in the layman understanding, we will say they fall under the gastrointestinal system, okay, the GIT, gastrointestinal tract. Okay, so it's actually a system. It's an organ system. It starts from the mouth to the esophagus, stomach, duodenum, small intestines. Then we move on to the larger intestines. So they are actually organs of the gastrointestinal system. They are organs, and they have so many functions. I mean, anytime you eat, you expect something to come out. Anytime we eat, we expect something to happen to the food we take in for our body to have the essential nutrients and the things necessary for body growth.
Sure.
So these stomach and duodenum they play a critical role in making some of these things available to the human being, as in into our bloodstream, for it to be utilized by the body cells for growth and development. So aside the stomach and the duodenum, which are organs, we have other parts. We have other organs that together form the gastrointestinal system. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So these are organs that, let me say, receive the food that we eat,
Sure.
and break them down
Sure.
to be able to absorb all the nutrients that we need.
Yeah.
So when, let me say, there's a break in the protective layer, leads to what we call this ulcer.
Yes.
Okay.
It's an insult to the organs.
Okay.
We use a term called insult.
Insult.
It's an insult. Yeah.
Okay.
It's an insult.
Okay. So let me say, cool. So is it that we have these two types? So let me say, since it's happening at two major areas, the stomach and the duodenum, is it two different types of ulcer, or which make up the peptic ulcer disease, or?
Okay, so actually, from some part of our studies, we say there are three types. Okay, we have the esophageal ulcer.
Esophageal ulcer.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the gastric ulcer, what most people know. Then the duodenal.
Duodenal ulcer.
Actually, let me chip in this that ulcers they are let me say progressive. Okay. Most often than not, it's a sore which has not been well taken care of. So as it progresses, it becomes aggravated. It becomes very severe. So it's not that maybe it just happens once and people have peptic ulcer.
Okay.
It's progressive.
So it starts gradually.
Gradually. So it may start in the duodenum, it may start in the stomach, or it may start somewhere in the esophagus. So with the esophagus, mostly it's about reflux of gastrointestinal content, the gastric content, which are made up of ACL, hydrochloric acid. So when there is a reflux, we see it creates an inflammation in the esophagus. Okay. So when that inflammation is created, it's mostly kind of an inflammatory activity that generates more of the sores. Because anytime there is an inflammation, the body comes up with mechanisms in order to curb the situation. But when this fails, that's when it becomes ulcerative. So it depends where it actually happens. So the different types of the ulcers is dependent on the part of the organ being affected.
Okay, thank you so much for that great exposition. Mr. Samuel, so this sore, which we have learned that it comes as the protective layer of our stomach, the linings of the stomach and the duodenum becomes breached. what are some of the exact causes or the things that may lead to this breach in the linings of our stomach and our duodenum? What are some of the exact causes which someone may...
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Before I talk about the cause, let me give a brief anatomy about the stomach lining.
Okay.
So if you don't know the stomach begins, it is distal to the esophagus, meaning that where the esophagus ends, that's where the stomach begins.
Okay. So, and what is this esophagus?
Okay, the esophagus is the tube which connects, the stomach and then the oral cavity.
That's your mouth.
That's your mouth.
So there's a tube that connects our mouth to our stomach.
To our stomach.
Okay, so that's the esophagus.
And that is the esophagus. Okay, and then the stomach. In the stomach, we have cells. Some of these cells are secreted on the upper 1/3 of the stomach. That is when you divide the stomach into three. The upper 1/3 secrete two cells. You have the parietal cells and the chief cells. The parietal cells secrete hydrochloric acid, and we know the effect of this hydrochloric acid, just as it's comparable to the one which is found in car batteries. And they serve the function.
So you want to tell me that the acid that we find in car batteries are also found in our stomach?
Let me see the biological form of it.
Okay.
Which is produced by the stomach, parietal cells.
Okay.
And this neutralizes. Sometimes you may swallow a toxin, which comes either by food or unintentionally, and this acid performs the function of neutralizing these toxins that has been swallowed. And then the chief cells secrete pepsin. Pepsin is an enzyme which is involved in digestion of breakdown of food.
Okay.
The food that we swallow, when it gets to the stomach, these enzymes act on it so that the food is breaking down to its form that the body can be able to absorb them.
Okay.
So these cells are produced in the upper 1/3 of the stomach. Now when you come to the duodenum, before you go to the duodenum, there is a layer that we call the antrum. And this antrum has...
That one's also found in our stomach.
It's found in our stomach. Okay, the stomach has 4 parts. So immediately distal to the esophagus, we have the cardia. And the cardia, you come to the fundus, which is the body. Then you come to the pylorus. The pylorus is the later end. The pylorus connects to the small intestine. Okay. So before you get to the
pylorus, the region where the food just leave the stomach.
The region where the food just exits, the stomach.
The stomach.
Into the duodenum.
Okay.
So before you come to the pylorus, there's a small region that we call the antrum, and this antrum has cells which secrete bicarbonate and G cells which secrete gastrin. Gastrin helps in producing more acid, and then the bicarbonates also being produced helps to serves as a buffer. So it serves as a protective, chemical on the surface of the duodenum, the duodenal mucosa, such that under normal circumstances, one is not the acid that is secreted shouldn't attack the mucosa of the stomach. So under normal circumstances, these cells that are secreted, and there are mucous cells which produces mucus through the entire walls of the stomach and the duodenum and some part of the GI tract. There are mucus that are secreted, and these mucus they are glycoproteins. They are mucin in nature.
So all these are the various anatomy, or let me say as you describe it, like the various aspects of the stomach playing their major
the role,
roles. Okay.
to ensure that under normal circumstances, the acid that is being produced by the stomach doesn't attack the walls of the GI tract.
That is, it won't affect ourselves.
Sure, that it won't affect ourselves. But when there is an infection, such as H. pylori, it's a gram-negative organisms that is implicated in most ulcer cases. They are known to cause the ulcers that we see. So these organisms, as it gets into the body, they mostly like habiting in the antral area, and they like hiding at the beneath the mucosal surface, because that is where they are being protected from the effect of the acid. So with time, the organisms, have some adhesion molecules. Let me say, they have legs. In the layman's understanding, they have legs that enables them attach themselves to the walls of the stomach. So with time, they produce toxins that we call it vacuolating cytotoxins.
Please come again.
Vacuolating cytotoxins. So these toxins gradually forms, a perforation, okay, at the area where
they create a hole. These organisms, the H. pylori.
Helicobacter pylori. That is what they do. And then someone may ask that, but you said hydrochloric acid is being produced in the stomach, so why is it that the organisms is not being affected? The organism produce an alkaline substances, so it helps it to be able to evade or just swerve, the effect of this acid. So the organisms will thrive in there for a very long time and cause, that perforation in the mucosal lining. So one cause is the H. pylori.
And my question is, I want to understand, where does this H. pylori comes from?
Oh, okay.
Where do we contact H. pylori? I want to know. I'm someone listening to this. Yes.
Yeah. H. pylori comes from, sometimes you may swallow a food and then you may not know what is attached to the food. Okay. The street is full of, microorganisms. Food that we buy outside, they are all full of organisms. Okay. So it's either through from food, to your stomach, or the fecal-oral route. Sometimes from the fecal, then unintentionally it gets into your mouth. So H. pylori is gotten from outside, through food, water, and some fecal matter, oral fecal route. That's how come H. pylori gets into the body. Then another cause of it is the pepsin, which is an enzyme. It's a digestive enzyme. So high secretion of it will also try to digest the intestinal walls or mucosa, because you sit in there, you are a protein. Yeah, the human being is a protein. That's why
the human being is a protein.
It's a protein. That's why when the lion sees you to try it tries to attack you. So the person, in the absence of any food, for a very long time, they will try to digest, the intestinal walls. And then the acid too also has a role to play when it comes to the pathogenesis of ulcer. So that is the three routes in which we can get an ulcer: by H. pylori infection, by pepsin, and then by acid attack.
Okay, Mr. Ben, thank you.
Yeah.
I want to ask this question. This peptic ulcer disease, can it be genetic?
Yes, it can actually be genetic. Okay, it can actually be genetic, and with things that happens to do or let's say ailments or sicknesses that happens to do with genetics, mostly they come up when the in the fetal stage of, I mean, development.
Okay. So whilst you are still in the womb
In the
developing.
womb, yes, while you are still in the womb developing. Actually, sometimes some of the mechanisms that results in genetic disorder in this regard are not known.
Okay.
Sometimes they are not known.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So the exact causes.
Yes, sometimes the exact causes are not actually known, but then most often than not, it is related to certain lifestyles. It is related to certain, like maybe a pregnant woman drinking alcohol and involving in drugs and what have you. Okay, some of these things can actually cause some deformities in the genetic codings. Okay, for the development of some of these organs. Okay, he made mention of some parts of the stomach which produce the gastrin and the acids. He made mention of the muscularis mucosa and what have you. All those things, they don't just come.
Okay.
Okay, they are genetic codings.
Okay.
So when there is a deformity somewhere in the fetus, it can affect the entire life of the baby.
Okay.
So it's something that is true, but then it's not that it's rare.
Okay.
Let me put it that way. It's rare. It's rare for someone to report. Actually, we've not had such cases before.
Okay.
As in, like someone reporting it, it's like it's genetically the source of the peptic ulcer is genetic. Most often than not, it is the H. pylori and the lifestyle of the individual. Okay, so if it's genetic, you see that right from infancy, the person will be experiencing this peptic ulcer disease. Okay, now I'm coming to some of the differences. When it is genetic, you see that right from infancy, it will be, you'll be seeing the signs and the symptoms. Okay, so yeah, it can.
So does it have a link to what you call this gastrinoma? Because I heard this, what you call this gastrinoma. Yes, so perhaps, as you're saying, genetically there can be a defect. So then the cells which produces the gastrin can undergo a metastasis or a cancer formation, thereby increasing the number of cells, thereby the acid and the
also increases
may increase.
production of the acids increases.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wow, that's such enlightening. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe you have learned so much. The show still continues on O2 Radio, the breath of the airways. My name is Prince Osei Kodie, and I am the host of this show. Health Arise with Time with the Doctor segment. If you have any question, can you let us know on Facebook Live on O2 Radio? Submit all your questions and your queries and let us ask the professionals. So we have learned that through food we can be able to contract some of these organisms that may lead to these peptic ulcer diseases. Now, let me ask you, Mr. Odum, talking about these, you said they are bacteria, gram-negative, okay. So, what's the percentage rate at which these organisms practically they lead to peptic ulcer? On a scale of people who get this peptic ulcer, how is the percentage for the infection causing the peptic ulcer?
Oh, okay.
Because it's something that we normally don't hear of, as infection may lead to peptic ulcer. Yes.
Oh, okay. So it's between 80 and then 90.
Between 80 and 90.
Are
Okay.
the cases of ulcer are caused by this H. pylori infection.
Sure.
Wow.
Only few of them are being caused by the other causes that we mentioned about.
Wow. Interesting.
So the organism, it's most implicated in ulcer cases.
Wow.
That's why the treatment regimen, antibiotics are being added to make sure that the organism is being cleared. And before Benjamin said something initially, that before you even get to the ulcer stage, that means the condition had progressed.
Okay.
It begins with just an inflammation of the linings, that we call it gastritis.
Okay.
Gastritis. So sometimes I know you definitely going to ask of the symptoms, but this the symptoms of gastritis and that of peptic ulcer disease, they are related. Because and this same organism is implicated in gastritis as well.
Okay.
So before you progress to the ulcer stage, that means you would have gotten gastritis before you get to the stage of ulcer.
Interesting. Okay, so I want to find out with my listeners and viewers that can the food we eat, because I heard that some spices, too much spices, and some kind of foods that you eat can also lead to this peptic ulcer diseases.
So actually, with this, we are considering the lifestyle aspect.
Okay.
The lifestyle aspect. So let me start from the sense whereby someone wouldn't want to eat at all.
Okay.
We have people not wanting to eat
So
for their own self purpose or what have you. Some
Okay.
people think they are too fat, so they have to fast.
Anorexia nervosa.
anorexia what? Nervosa.
They are afraid that they will put on weight
They
when
are
they
afraid
eat.
that they will put on weight when they eat.
I see.
Okay, so they, instead of eating, they choose not to eat. And you see, as that continues, you see the stomach produces the acid.
Okay.
So as more acids are being generated, okay, it rests off the surface of the stomach or the epithelial linings. So you see that gradually the perforations will be ongoing. So the person will think, oh, I'm not eating, so I'm slimming down. In as much as you'll be slimming down, you should also know that there is something going on in your stomach.
Okay.
And aside that, we have people who fast and pray a lot.
Okay.
Our spiritual leaders, and it's good to fast. Actually, fasting is good for body. Wellness. Okay, but then over fasting can actually cause damage to the lining of the stomach.
Over fasting.
Over fasting. Let me put it that way. Over fasting. Okay, can actually affect the.
So do you have let me say a marker? Maybe we have to fast for say this number of period.
Okay, so with that, actually we are living in this part of our world. We uphold spirituality a lot. Some people want to pay their own religious beliefs and what they've come to accept. They choose as when and how to fast. Okay, but then it's not advisable to fast for a long time. Okay, so if my advice would be that if you are fasting for a long time, let's say 40 days fasting, at least be taking water.
Okay.
Water will be enough. Be taking water regularly.
Okay.
Some say they do dry fast, but it's I wouldn't want to go there. But
Okay.
then just do what to be taking water gradually. Okay, it soothes the stomach and
Okay.
prevents the insult from happening.
Okay.
And again, the food, coming to the food aspect. Okay, so we have something called homeostasis. Okay, sometimes people swallow hot food.
Okay.
You can swallow hot food. Sometimes it even causes inflammation in your esophagus, or let's say your throat.
Okay.
Sometimes people swallow hot food, even their mouth bends and what have you. But then we have God naturally created man that when something goes wrong in the body, certain mechanisms will come in place in order to settle the situation, to make it normal again. And that's what we term as homeostasis. So when you tend to, but then what happens is that when you tend to do this, okay, and your immune system or the mechanisms that will come in place in order to curb these things are not very strong, you will see that as it happens gradually, it becomes complicated.
Interesting. Then let me chip in something. So does it mean that aging can actually predispose one to peptic ulcer disease?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely. Aging can predispose you to peptic ulcer.
ulcer.
And we have most of the cases, I mean, the old men and women that come around, most of them sometimes do complain of peptic ulcer disease. Why? Because their immune system is, I mean, is degrading, let me put it that way, or degenerating. To an extent, it's being generated, so degenerating. And coming back to the food aspect, when you tend to eat cold foods, now these H. pylori we are talking about, sometimes they settle on our foods. So when the food is very cold and you take a rice, I mean, you don't heat it, you eat, let's say banku, you go to choba, the food is very cold, the soup is cold, you just take it in, okay? The percentage by which you ingest the H. pylori will be very high, okay? And so we advise people to eat warm food,
Okay.
not hot food.
Okay.
You eat warm food.
Warm food.
Yes, not hot food. When you tend to eat hot food, you may insult your organs, the organs of the GIT, and they will deal with you. That's the pain you go through, and one way or the other they can cause harm to you.
Okay.
So you tend to eat warm food.
Warm food.
Yes, warm food. And also you made mention of the spices. But then I will say that relating to the H. pylori, okay, now homeostasis, when there is H. pylori in the stomach, sometimes the acids, though the organism has its mechanism to escape the effect of the acid, most often than not, the acid also do have effect on it.
Okay.
So we can talk about the percentage of ingestion.
Okay.
Okay, so having a small amount of the H. pylori with a good immune system, you can clear it off from your body.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes. But then when you have larger amount of it in there, okay, you see that the let's say the organisms tend to overshadow the effect of the acid. So, and we have other foods that we take that also have effect on the acid in the stomach. So instead of the acid dealing with the H. pylori, it will be engaged, I mean, in other mechanisms. So it's like, let me put it, I'm now speaking in layman terms so that someone will understand.
Exactly.
So it's like, instead of focusing on the organism, it will be doing other things. Okay, so let's say you take in something which is, let's say, more basic or something like that. So the acid will tend to, I mean, I'm talking about the food, the spices. So you see that some percent of the acid will be dealing with those things, and the H. pylori will be there. Just a few of it will be dealing with the H. pylori. So we are advised to take good food, healthy food. Enough of the junk food. Enough of the junk food.
And where junk means?
Where junk means these
a lot of fatty foods,
you know,
and
too much spicy foods. Those they may distort the some of the metabolic operations of the stomach. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Thank you so much for such a great enlightenment. Mr. Samuel, kindly enlighten us some of the signs and the symptoms of these peptic ulcer diseases, indicating each of the types that we have and the peculiar. Let me start from you. Give us the signs and the symptoms of the gastric ulcer, the one which is occurring in our stomach. What are the signs, so that we let Mr. Ben also look at the duodenal ulcer?
Okay.
Yes.
So to let people have, a pictorial view of what I'm going to talk about.
Yes.
Like, when you divide, your stomach,
Yes.
okay, into 9.
You divide your stomach into 9.
9 regions.
Mm.
9 regions.
Okay.
It's very difficult for somebody to visualize what I'm saying, but then that will help you to locate the exact point where the pain occurs. When you come down to your sternum, your breastbone, before you get to the softer part, that's where we call it the epigastrum.
Epigastrum.
Epigastrum, and that is the point where ulcer pain is felt so much. So there is one of the symptom is epigastric tenderness.
Epigastric tenderness.
Or in a layman's term, epigastric pains. Or one we say chest pains. Mostly when they come to the clinic or the hospitals, they will say, "I'm having chest pains," and that is one of the signs of peptic ulcer disease. There can also be burning, heart burns.
Heart burns.
Heart burns. It can also be heart burns.
And where heart burns means, or is it that your heart will be burning, or what is heart burns?
You feel like you ate and then the food were not digested, so you may feel some discomfortness over your chest region. So let's say if you ate wachi, within 2 hours or 3 hours, you shouldn't feel it in your throat or something. But with time you could see that when you belch, you still feel some burning sensation around your chest. And that is one of the symptom of peptic ulcer disease. You can also get pains when food gets into the stomach.
So when food gets to your stomach, as you're about to eat, you can get some pains.
You can get some pains as the food enters the stomach. It's like you have an open sore, let's say on your thigh, and then something just tapped it. You feel the pain. So the same thing in the mucosal lining of the stomach. When food gets into it, you feel pain. And the pain comes sometimes due to the strengthening of the rugi in the stomach.
And what is that?
We have some small folds. It is not smooth like that. When you view it inside, you can
and
see
what is the function of this rugi, or what you mentioned?
Oh, okay. So when the rugi becomes the standard, the secretion of hydrochloric acid has 4 phases. But one of it is the distension, has to do with the distension of this rugi when food falls into the stomach. So when food falls into the stomach, it presses and causes the hydrochloric acid to be released. So the pain comes, as a result of the acid that is being secreted. And this acid, when it is being secreted onto these open sores, causes pain so much. So it's also one of the symptoms of peptic ulcer disease.
So
pain when you swallow food.
Pain when you swallow food.
When you swallow food.
A classical sign.
A classical sign of peptic ulcer disease. But it's not, it doesn't point to whether it is duodenal or it is gastric. Because sometimes there can be a referred pain, meaning that the thing may be coming from the duodenum, but you may feel it, still in the stomach. Okay? And even with the epigastric pain, the pain that you hear, you feel it, at the upper part of your stomach. Sometimes could even come from other conditions which are not related to the GIT, the gastrointestinal tract. It can even be a myocardial infarction. Because when you look at the chest, there are organs that are buried within the chest cavity. We have the lungs, we have the heart too, they are all there. So painful chest or epigastric tenderness can, give a clue as to what is happening beneath the chest. Okay, and since these organs, the the stomach and the esophagus, all pass through this. They pass posterior to the chest wall. Makes it a strong diagnostic to rule out peptic ulcer diseases.
I see. Thank you so much, Mr. Samuel. So at this point, we want to let Mr. Benjamin to enlighten us on the signs and the symptoms of the duodenal ulcer.
Okay, so actually the signs and symptoms of the duodenal as compared to the gastric, okay, they are very related. They are very related, but generally we consider the before or after eating. The before or after eating, and most often than not with the duodenal. Actually, the duodenum forms the upper part of the small intestine.
Okay.
So let's say the transition of the food from the stomach into the small intestines. That region. So just like you were saying with the duodenal ulcer, you experience abdominal pains.
Abdominal pains.
Sometimes it also radiates to the back.
Okay.
Or let's say you feel it at your back.
Okay.
And also one of the key difference, okay, or markers that we use to differentiate the two is that with the duodenal, after a few hours after eating, you begin to feel the pain.
Oh, okay.
Yes, few hours after eating. Unlike the gastric, where if you don't take in something, you feel pains in your stomach.
Oh, okay.
So you have to take something. But with the duodenal, after taking the food, few hours after, you begin to feel the pains.
Yeah.
That is the major, one of the major. Yeah, we used to differentiate between the duodenal and the gastric.
So some people will experience the pains some few hours after taking the food. So that's the duodenal ulcer. While some people, without some food, they experience the pain. So that's the gastric ulcer. Interesting.
Immediately adding to that, immediately after eating gastric ulcer too, you may feel
immediately after eating.
Yes, immediately after eating.
Without eating the food, you have pains, and immediately after food, you still have pains.
You still have pains.
You still have pains.
And 2 to 3 hours thereof, you begin to have pain if it is a duodenal ulcer, because the food is gradually moving, and then before it will get there.
Interesting.
And the duodenal ulcer pain sometimes wakes patients at night.
Yes.
Yeah, they will just.
You wake up from bed.
You wake up from bed feeling so painful.
Yeah, and having said this, I think it will be very expedient we add some of the complications. Some of the complications. I mean, some of the signs, severe signs, or let's say symptoms of duodenal. Sometimes you see blood in your stool. Yes, you see blood in your stool.
You can see blood in your stool.
Yes, you see blood in your stool. Sometimes you feel lightheadedness. You lose weight.
You lose weight.
Sometimes, yes,
you can lose weight with peptic ulcer disease.
Yes, you can actually lose weight with peptic ulcer diseases. Yeah, because, and I think it's kind of psychological.
Psychological.
Because the person feels sometimes out of the pain, even the quest to take in something wouldn't be there. Okay, I mean you have to eat, but then because of the pain, you wouldn't want to even eat. But sometimes, let's say with the duodenal, you know that after eating, I'm going to experience this pain. So sometimes you choose not to eat at all. And you see,
that will help. That will lead to the weight loss.
Yes, that can lead to the weight loss. Sometimes people throw out a lot. You vomit. You vomit. You feel nauseous. You vomiting. All those things are there.
Interesting.
There are some severe signs and symptoms of.
And I hope with all these things, there is a way out of these pains that our fathers and our mothers somewhere may be experiencing, because you realize that aging can predispose someone. So I hope there is a recovery or something that can help manage with these issues, especially the natural remedies. I hope we have some with that. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you are learning something on O2 Radio. Today we are looking at peptic ulcer disease, and trust you me, it's such a one of the painful diseases, because without eating you have pains. After eating you're also experiencing some pains. In some few hours you can also experience some pains. This is not a disease that you would wish for. So if you want to know some of the ways that you can evict yourself out of this catastrophic disease, then you have to keep following us, keep listening to us live on this show, for you to know the way out, how to evict yourself out of this painful disease. So as I introduce to you, in the studio we have Mr. Benjamin Eni, a medical herbalist intern from Center for Plant Medicine Research, Mampong, Ekuapem. Also we have Mr. Samuel Odum, also a medical herbalist intern at Center for Plant Medicine Research. These are our future herbal doctors. So these are professionals and they know what they are about. If you want to know the full details of this peptic ulcer disease, keep listening to OT Radio. And I am Prince Osekode, the host of Health Arise Show and segment The Time with the Doctors. I hope you're enjoying the show. If you have any question, anything that you want to pull into, you can follow us on Facebook and let us know all your questions.
Lead me every day. I say I like it, I like the way you lead me,
Going forward, you want to know if there are pharmacological treatment for this condition, because it's such a painful and stressful health disease. So you want to know if there is a way out. And we shall look at some non-pharmacological interventions. I mean, is there some food that we can eat? Is there some lifestyle that you can adapt to which can ease people with peptic ulcer and also help people without not to be able to get these conditions? You want to get to know all this information? Stick to us on OT Radio.
Except you build a house, the build a beauty bay. Me, I'm a follow you to go. Anywhere you lead me, I don't go. My life is for your glory.
So, Mr. Samuel, kindly help us some of the interventions that you have and the ways that people with these health conditions they are being treated. Is there a natural remedy for peptic ulcer disease? Is there something like that?
Sure, there is. There is a natural remedy for peptic ulcer disease, and there are products that are being certified and approved by the Food and Drugs, authority in this country for the management of peptic ulcer conditions. For instance, when you go to the Center for Plant Medicine, we have dyspepsia, MPK. These are antibiotics that are used for the management of, ulcer diseases. And there are other products on the market to Capital to has a product, for the management of ulcer, Capi ulcer. Yeah, it's also for management of ulcer. So there are natural remedies for the management of ulcer.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Ben, do you want to add to it?
Yeah, just to add some few to it.
Okay.
I think we did a research on one of these plants, Marinda lucida. What we call noni.
Okay.
I don't know if most people have known noni. Yeah, actually, a tincture of noni is known to be very powerful in dealing with these peptic ulcer diseases. Actually, there are so many myths about this particular ailment. There are so many myths. Actually, some say spices spices actually cause how do you call it, peptic ulcer disease. Okay, but that has been debunked. That has been debunked. Notwithstanding, some of these spicy foods we eat may one way or the other, let me say, be one of the enhancers. Okay, one of the things that can facilitate the rate at which you can actually get these things.
Okay.
So though it has been debunked.
So the spices we use in our food.
Yes. So it has been debunked that it is not the actual cause.
It's not the actual causes.
Actual cause. But what I'm saying is that it can actually be an enhancer.
Enhancer.
Yes. It can actually be an enhancer. So there are so many myths about peptic ulcer that has been debunked. But then the research on noni, we found out that
noni food.
This noni fruit, we actually, a tincture, I think 1:4, a ratio of 1:4. Okay, tincture of noni was actually potent enough to.
That's a research work.
Yeah, that's a research work.
Okay.
That's a research work. And so, and aside that, as my senior colleague here said, H. pylori is almost the
which accounts for about the 80 to 90% the causes of peptic ulcer disease. That's
okay.
Organism.
Yes, that organism. Okay, it causes about 80 to 90% of peptic ulcer diseases are caused by this organism. So if you have a antibacterial herbal product,
okay,
you are sure that it can actually deal with
help with it. Okay.
Yes. Or when you have plants which are good immune boosters, like moringa and oleifera. Moringa, this normal moringa we have, is very powerful immune booster. Yeah, it can actually help. I mean, clear some of these things. But then, to know that your condition is, getting better, you have to run certain checks.
Some tests.
Yes, some tests.
And what are some of these tests that you can do to verify that you even have peptic ulcer disease?
Yeah, we have some antigens.
Yeah.
Is it serum antigen?
You can the test that you can do H. pylori.
You can do H. pylori.
H. pylori test.
Yeah, to know the quantum. You see, I actually said
the volume or the load.
The bacterial load. So you have to know. Is it are you progressing with the medication?
Okay.
I'm saying this because most often than not, patients can, when they take some of the products or herbal medicines and they think they are getting better, then they put a stop to the medication.
Okay,
you might aggravate the whole condition.
So there can be re-infection or okay.
It's a resuscitate. So what you do is that make sure you are regular at the hospitals and get yourself checked out. And make sure you meet a medical herbalist to tell him or your condition and everything. So in as much as we've mentioned some potent herbal plants that can help curb or cure this peptic ulcer, we are not saying that you should sit at home and prepare anything for your own self. No.
Okay.
We are there to give you the effective dosages. That's why we are here. We are here for you to help give the effective dosage that wouldn't harm you. So
okay, interesting. Thank you very much. Let's look at time is fast spent. You're almost coming to the end of this show. We want to look at, is there some, as you mentioned, moringa, oleifera, is there some homemade food things which we can eat a lot in order to recover from this painful disease? Because I don't know about me, you can tell me better. I heard cabbage is a very good normal cabbage we use is a very good herb for this peptic ulcer disease. So is there some food, some fruits, some vegetables, some little things we have in our homes which can be able to help us aside taking medications? So is there some food which have enriched micronutrients which can help relieve us of this peptic ulcer?
Oh yeah, definitely there should be because God made it so.
So we have garlic.
Garlic.
Yeah, it's good, and mostly we have some food items that are found in our kitchen which play roles, when it comes to the helping to treat or manage disease. But most of the time we don't know. We think they are only for cooking. But garlic is one of the things found in our kitchen that are very good when it comes to ulcer conditions.
And also actually in some of the ethno-medicinal use. Ethno-medicinal use.
And what does that mean?
Okay,
what is ethno-medicinal use?
With the ethno-medicinal,
yes,
we are talking about you see, herbal medicine has been in the system for a very long time.
Okay.
And people talk about their great grandfathers doing herbal medicine. So when we say ethno-medicinal, we are considering those times whereby there weren't strong scientific evidence, concerning the effect or potency of these drugs. But then they were using it, and they were seeing signs. They were using it and they were seeing signs, though it wasn't scientifically proven. So from ethno-medicinal, ethnic. So some of the plants they use for, to treat some of these things, was I think aloe vera, the mucilage, the gel, the aloe vera gel. They take it in to seal the lining. So it's like you have a portal and you want to seal the portal. You have a hole and you want to cement it. So the gel, they mostly taking the gel to
seal the lining.
And also this plantain. Some also they pound the skin, the peels of the plantain. They pound it and they consume.
And are those things scientifically validated?
And actually, more researches are being
done. So we don't encourage self-medication.
Sure. That's it. We also entreat the big men, in our health system to sponsor some of these researches. To help us come up with new things that can help buttress the healthcare system in this country. So a lot is being done when it comes to Center for Scientific Research into Plant Medicine. A whole lot of researches are being done on some of these things, and I think it will be very good if the government invest more into some of these things so that we come with scientific evidence and not just consider just the ethno-medicinal use. That's why we are here. We bridge the gap between ethnicity and science. We can't debunk them, we can't castigate or put them aside that this is old, this is not true, as most people say herbal medicines they cause liver disease, kidney disease. No. We shouldn't debunk it.
I think you have a special program for that, maybe side effects of herbal medicines, what the people are saying and how true they are.
Good. I think it would be very nice if we deliberate on some of these issues. We can't put them away, because most of these orthodox medicines we see, they actually have their primitive source from plants. So once we cannot do away with them, then there should be a system or a way where we can help inculcate them into our system. That's why we are here, to bridge that gap between ethnicity and science. So I would say that more is to be done. So people shouldn't just sit at home, and because we are saying aloe vera and plantain peels, they should just be there and be doing things. You might harm yourself.
Sure.
So there are, and we cannot end the show without giving some of the basic things people can eat in order to boost their immune system. As we said, H. pylori is a bacteria, and so when your immune system is strong, just like coronavirus, we say that there is no cure, there is no medication, but then when you have a good immune system, you can fight against coronavirus. That's how God made the human system. When you have a good immune system, you can fight against any bacteria, fungi, or microorganism. So other fruits are there. You can consume more oranges. It boosts your immune system. And bananas, these fruits, pineapple, apples. You can consume them. And leafy fruits like the cabbage you mentioned. let's consume the local ones, kontomire
Mm.
and all those things. They are very good.
Yeah, very
Mm.
healthy.
Yeah, dawa dawa and all those things. They are very, 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 very
I see.
good. Yeah, they boost your immune system.
Mm.
So if 80 to 90% is being caused by H. pylori, then you are sure that when you have a very strong immune system, this bacteria will be something little for you.
Mm.
Your body will just clear it.
And lest I forget, I read somewhere that some kind of medications can also predispose someone to peptic ulcer, some analgesics and anti-inflammatory drugs can
Sure.
also predispose someone to this peptic ulcer disease.
So, in the physiologically, we have protective prostaglandins.
What are prostaglandins?
Okay.
I'm even not able to pronounce the word.
Prostaglandin.
Okay, prostaglandins.
The E. Prostaglandin E.
Yeah, the prostaglandin is. Let
I
me say they are
see.
chemicals. Okay,
Mm.
that all support, to coat the surface of the intestinal
They cover.
mucosa, to
Mm.
cover the surface layer of the stomach. Okay, and they are very protective. So one thing is when you take NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs such as aspirin, ibuprofen, this inhibit the pathways
Mm.
which leads to the production of these protective prostaglandins.
So these drugs can inhibit this
Inhibit the
protective.
pathway. Drug is all about inhibiting the pathway. So for instance, if you are vomiting, you're having nausea and diarrhea, we identify what is causing the nausea and the diarrhea, then we block the pathways
Mm.
so that you don't vomit or you have diarrhea.
Mm.
So when you take in NSAIDs that I've mentioned, just some minutes ago,
Mm.
they blocks the enzyme
Mm.
that will help in the production of these protective prostaglandins.
Mm.
So there's a pathway, we call it the cyclosinase pathway,
Mm.
the COX. You have the COX1 and the COX2.
Yes, I don't think my viewers and myself want to go into all the details of that. But we've come to realize that some drugs like these painkillers
The painkillers,
can we take them for quite a long time. They can predispose you to
Sure.
this peptic ulcer. Okay, we actually
I think I have to
yes.
add something to it.
Okay.
That it's not that the main mission of the drug is not to inhibit the prostaglandin.
The prostaglandin.
But
Mm.
it's kind of the side effect.
Mm.
The side effect.
So the side effect.
Side effect.
Mm.
So you are taking the drug to relieve you of pain,
Mm.
but then other mechanisms are going on in your body, which are causing the inhibition of the enzymes, the protective prostaglandins.
Mm. I see. Okay, so thank you so much. So you heard it for yourself, viewers. Prolonged use of these painkillers can predispose you to this peptic ulcer disease also. So let's be mindful to always stay natural and stay away from anything that will lead us to this kind of painful disease. So we want to look at our last two questions, then we bring the show to an end.
They embarrass me, oh, I like it, oh.
So I want to find out, so what should someone who has this painful peptic ulcer disease do? Someone who without food have these severe pains in the stomach, or after eating surely experience this severe pain, and someone who also experience severe pain after a few hours of eating. What should the person do?
Okay, the first thing that you have to do is you have to see your health practitioner.
Okay.
The health practitioner will help you more to discover the pains that you are having in your abdomen and to find out the cause, of which peptic ulcer is one of the cause. So when you see your health practitioner, you help you, and come out with the courses,
Mm.
and medications will be given to you, and with time the pain will die off, and the underlying cost will be eliminated. So the first thing to do is to see your practitioner.
See your practitioner.
See your practitioner.
Sure.
Okay.
Some people have the behavior of going to the pharmacy or a shop and then buying drugs for themselves whenever they feel unwell. It's not a good practice. Whenever there's something wrong with your body or you think you are not feeling okay, just go to a clinic or a hospital where we have trained health professionals who will be able to take care of you and give you good quality medicines. And as we've already said, we've mentioned some of the plants that are good, for management of peptic ulcer disease. Don't sit in your room and then prepare something for yourself, because what you are going to take has not been validated. The toxicity aspect of it has not been verified.
So we are discouraging self-medication.
Because it appears that I may pick a plant here, and then my brother also pick the same plant at a different place. But you could see that the one that I may pick, maybe I picked it from Makala Market here, and look at the content, mineral content will be so high that when you take it, it may even poison you or you die. So it's good to first see your
practitioner. Okay.
Who will help you.
Okay. So so we can have medical herbalists around who we can.
There are medical herbalists around. When you come to Capital O2, they will help you. They will take you through. You see a doctor. The doctor will have some interaction with you. When did your pain started? How does it get worse when you eat anything? Is it relieved when you do anything? So what are some of the drugs that you've taken previously? The doctor will have a nice chat with you to find out why you are having that abdominal pain, and even if it is accompanied with vomiting or other symptoms that we talked about. Then after that, the medical herbalist will let you do 1 or 2 tests, and then if it appears that this H. pylori is the one causing it, since it is a bacteria, there are antibiotics that are around that can help you, eradicate these organisms, and with time.
Wonderful.
Sure.
Thank you, Mr. Samuel. Mr. Ben, we want to conclude on this topic. Tell us, what are some of the preventive measures that, let me say, as a young man, or let me say as individual, I'm supposed to undertake so that I don't predispose myself to this debilitating and this painful disease? What are some of the lifestyle and the things I have to do in order not to predispose myself or increase my risk of getting this peptic ulcer disease?
So mostly let me focus on students.
Okay.
Because there is actually a belief that students go to school and it takes time for them to make money, but then after making the money, they find it difficult to spend it.
Okay.
I'm talking about stress.
Okay.
Stress, and I mean, it's when students are engaged in their studies, they don't even eat breakfast. They skip breakfast. It's a very bad habit. You have to be regular with your breakfast. Make sure you're taking something every morning. Make sure that at every point in time you have something in your tummy. At least to keep it safe.
Okay.
And consume enough water.
Okay, so we should drink a lot of water.
Consume a lot of water. Drink more. Drink more water. I think a day we are supposed to drink about 5 liters of water.
5 liters.
Yes. Of water a day. So it has to be regular. When you wake up early in the morning, you drink one. You shouldn't drink
Is it the very cold, the chilled one that you see, or any of them?
This is also an issue that people actually debate on. But I said something earlier on homeostasis.
Okay,
homeostasis. When you take very cold water, the body has its mechanism to make the water suit what the body will need.
Okay.
But then we should apply wisdom. You shouldn't drink hot water.
Okay.
But then most often than not, we recommend warm water.
Warm water.
Yeah, we recommend warm water. So you drink enough warm water.
Okay.
So drink more water, eat more fruit, eat well. Don't be skipping your breakfast. And those who are also into drugs and what have you, tobacco, smoking, do well to, let's say reduce it, if not to end it. Let's say reduce it.
So alcohol, tobacco. What about caffeinated drinks?
They are all,
I mostly see people abusing all those things.
Yeah, they are all inclusive. People don't want to sleep. Students, back to students, they don't want to sleep. They have exams. So instead of them studying for the whole semester or the whole thing, they wouldn't. But then when it's getting to the latter part, they want to, accumulate everything into the brain. So they wouldn't want to sleep. They take caffeinated stuff. And you see that they are hyper. They become hyper. Some they say even sleep. Even after taking the caffeine, caffeinated,
They still sleep.
Yeah,
They still sleep.
So let's not put pressure on the GIT, the gastrointestinal tract.
That's the way the pathway that the food enters and leaves the body.
The canal. It's actually a canal. It has two openings. The mouth, then the anus.
And what is that anus?
Pardon?
What's the anus?
What's the anus?
Yes.
Where we have undigested,
So the opening where we defecate.
The opening where we defecate. That's
Okay.
it. So it's actually like a tube.
A tube.
You can see one end from the other. That's the GIT.
GIT. So you shouldn't stress
You
it.
shouldn't stress it at all. You shouldn't stress it at all.
And then let me add this one.
Yes.
Because we are mentioning fruits and vegetables here. Maybe somebody may be listening to us and say, oh, I heard doctors talking about taking in fruit, oranges and all that. But if you have peptic ulcer, if you are diagnosed by a medical herbalist or a medical officer that you have a peptic ulcer disease, there are some fruits that you don't have to take them because of their high content of the acid in that fruit.
So there are foods that we need not a peptic ulcer, diagnosed peptic ulcer disease patient has not to take.
You don't need to take it. For instance, orange. It's very high in acid that when you take it, it may exacerbate your condition. Your condition may get worse. And then pineapple too, and pawpaw too.
It's not good for people with peptic ulcer disease.
Yes, because of contains also a digestive enzyme called the papain, and this papain too, just like the proteolytic enzyme that we have.
Please, what are proteolytic enzymes? My listener, if you don't know what proteolytic enzymes are.
Okay, lytic. Okay, means something that you break down.
So these fruit contains substance that can break down our stomach linings.
So these fruits, take notes: oranges, pawpaw, pineapples. If you have peptic ulcer disease, you make sure that you don't eat them. Otherwise, your condition may get worse or you exacerbate your conditions. Sure.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Benjamin Enim and Mr. Samuel Odom from Center for Plant Medicine Research, and also the medical team at rafamol.com. Thank you for being here with us discussing on peptic ulcer disease. Cherished viewers and listeners, I believe that you have learned so much this afternoon. So whilst we are preparing for a peaceful election coming Monday, I believe with these nuggets of information, you keep yourself healthy and your family safe. So at this juncture, I want to bring the section to an end. My name is Prince Osekodie. I am the host of the show. We want to take their final words and we leave the studio. And if you have any question, kindly drop them and we will attend to you. So let's get back to them and have their final words. So Mr. Odum, kindly your final words before we leave the show.
Oh, okay. So my final words is that even as we go to polls on December 7th to choose our leaders, you have to be careful in the way you eat, because most of the causes of our sicknesses are as a result of what we take in. So we should be very careful what we take in day by day, so that we don't get ourselves into trouble with this any kind of this disease. So, and then let's not cause any chaosities, because we are in elections. When the peace of this country is destabilized, everything also is being halted. So peace first. So as we go to the polls, let's make sure that we don't cause any chaosities, or we don't say words, that will cause somebody to be angry or whatever. We have the right, to our opinions. What you support is not what I may support. So you have to respect my opinion. I too respect your opinion. And move forward. So with the peace of this country being guaranteed, then we are sure of other things as well. So that's my final words.
Thank you so much, Mr. Samuel. Mr. Ben, what's your last words to our cherished viewers and listeners?
Okay. So before I say my final words, I want to congratulate them, applaud them for making time to at least listen to us. Yeah, they've done very well. WHO defines health as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being of an individual, and not just the absence of infirmity. So we've talked about peptic ulcer, but then health in general transcends diseases. It inculcates, it talks about social life and everything like that. So even as we are going to the pools, we also have to consider our health. And with this, we are not considering diseases.
Okay.
We are considering the stability of peace in the country.
Okay, so the social health.
Yeah, the social health. It's a form of well-being. It's a form of well-being. So it's a form of health.
Okay.
So we should be very conscious of that. The words we speak, what we tell our friends, the type of arguments we engage in, they may all make us unhealthy. So we should be very careful what to do. And just as people will wake up early in the morning, take their bath, polish their faces, put on all the pumps and the nice clothes, they are careful about the outside. So is it that you should be careful about the inside of you. So in as much as you are dressing and putting things in their perfect places, make sure you also check the things that goes inside of you. And most often than not, you should be doing regular checkups to know what's going on in your system. So that's my final word. Saying we need you alive. Ghana needs you alive. So we need you alive, and not just alive, but then healthy. So we need you alive and healthy to enhance development in the country. So stay blessed and be healthy.
Thank you so much. And I want to add that, is there a way some people, if someone wants to reach out to you for more clarification or information, is there a way we can reach out to you, or by any means?
Okay. So we are medical herbalists in things.
Okay.
At Center for Scientific Research into Plant Medicine.
Okay.
So if anything, you can. But then, sorry, we are in Capital O2.
Okay.
And we respect them a lot. They've been very supportive. And if you want to tell us anything, you can channel it through them. Yeah. And we know we are going to have it.
Okay.
If you have any health condition, just walk into Capital O2.
Capital O2.
Capital O2.
That's it.
And they will help you.
Their health clinic.
Their health clinic. They have good, doctors, nurses who will take care of you,
Thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is where I draw the curtains down on the Health Arise show. O2 Radio, the breath of the airways. I believe the program has been very blissful to you. I want to thank all of you who made time to follow the program up. We say a very big thank to you. See you again another time as we bring out that segment of the health show to you. And I also add my voice to it, that lest this election be peaceful, our actions, everything we do, all geared towards a peaceful election. Because without peace, nothing shall be sustained. So thank you so much. My name is Prince Osei and I am the host of the show. See you again next week and we bring another segment. I believe you have learned so much. Thank you. Stay blessed. Go and vote on the 7th of December. I want to see you alive and safe. Bye bye.
Believe me, don't forsake me.